Statements, I call them in for Monaro.
Please, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker. Last Sunday, a GoFundMe page was launched for Madison and Jared Lampard, who live in Googong, a thriving suburb in my Monaro electorate. The couple's infant daughter, Ariel, just 17 months old, has been diagnosed with leukaemia. According to the family friend who launched the page, before this news, Ariel had been a bubbly self and was fortunate to have only caught the typical daycare illnesses that most children do. Naturally, this news has devastated the family. Ariel and mum Madison have had to relocate to Sydney for the next 12 to 18 months while Ariel undergoes intensive medical treatment at the Royal Children's Hospital. Madison has had to forfeit her employment due to the inability to work remotely. The fundraising page was launched so that relatives and friends can help provide financial support to the family through this challenging period. Sadly, this story is not unique to the Lampards. Families from rural and remote communities living in the Monaro and right across the state experience the same plight day after day. Each year in Australia, 770 children aged up to 14 years old are diagnosed with cancer. Almost half of those are between birth and 4. Most are diagnosed with leukaemia, tumours of the central nervous system or brain tumours, and lymphomas. 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have long-lasting chronic conditions from the treatments they receive. Children diagnosed with very rare cancers have less of a chance of survival. Getting the news that your child has cancer is unimaginable for those of us who haven't gone through it. The extraordinary emotional toll cannot be calculated. Unfortunately, the financial toll can, and it is immense. In the study Childhood Cancer, its impact and financial costs for Australian families, it was found that in addition to the expected high social and emotional impacts, a majority of families reported suffering from great or moderate economic hardship. A second study, Hidden Financial Costs in Treatment for Childhood Cancer, an Australian study of lifestyle implications for families absorbing out-of-pocket expenses, showed 80% of the sample reported a minimum of 5 different out-of-pocket expenses, which total an average value of $19,064. With all of that in mind, Win the Day Charity is a small, little-known charity based in Queanbeyan that offers financial support to families experiencing the stress and chaos that occurs when a child has cancer and needs to seek treatment away from home. Like many charities, Win the Day was born through need when the young daughter of Kristy Giteau, a former Australian rugby union Wallaroo, was diagnosed with a rare cancer and she had to move her daughter closer to treatment. Within 48 hours of receiving a diagnosis, Kristy had to take her sick daughter to Sydney, leaving her 8-month-old son and 7-year-old daughter in Queanbeyan with her husband, Sok. The next 6 months included numerous tests, surgeries, protocols of chemotherapy and hospital stays until they were finally told that Karili appeared cancer-free. After 3 months of joyous family life back home, Kristy and Sok received the terrible news that Karili's cancer had returned. She was told she needed to move to Sydney for an unspecified length of time. They needed to source accommodation near the hospital, which was another expense they couldn't afford, and they'd exhausted all of their leave during the first round of treatment. It was during this challenging time that Kristy realised there needed to be more services available for families. Win the Day charity provides one-off financial grants to families for accommodation, care and meals and some medical treatments. It also offers a welcome pack full of helpful hints and valuable social connections. According to Kristy, one way as a government we could assist families is to look at a meal service in the hospitals where treatment is offered. This would possibly allow parents the possibility for parents and carers to purchase low-cost meals without having to leave their children alone to go and buy their food. In talking to local families living with cancer, it's clear that while cancer doesn't discriminate, the services available do, helping ease the burden for families so they can focus on supporting their children through the biggest battle of their lives, and how this might be achieved is something that deserves the attention of us all. In 2021, Win the Day charity raised more than $33,000 to assist families. As the brand awareness of this charity grows, so too does its ability to raise funds and support families. And at a recent fundraising day held by the Queanbeyan Whites Rugby Union Club, more than $72,000 was raised. So are there plans to try to expand this charity and the wonderful, much-needed services it provides. Accordingly, I encourage everyone, individuals, communities, the people of Monaro and governments of all colours and levels to jump on board and help cancer kids win the day.
I thank the member. Are there any private members?